Most Muslims around the world condemned the September 11th terrorist attacks on the United States in 2001, but many consider the U.S. response to the terror attacks far worse. The ensuing wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, NATO's military intervention in Libya, and support for regimes that use the threat of terrorism to justify suppressing dissent. This too often overshadow America's efforts supporting freedom and democratic values, says Stephen Cole, the director of the program on international policy attitudes at the University of Maryland.
And then there's the quote, bad America that doesn't always live up to those values and is seen as being unfriendly to Islam, ready to use military force, irrespective of international law, and not promoting democracy.
Essam El-Arian is a leader of the conservative Muslim Brotherhood in Egypt, a group that was once banned for opposing the military-led rule of Hosni Mubarak. He argues that U.S. military operations kill more people than Islamic terrorists, and that using force to bring stability and impose democracy in Muslim countries is a failure.
Defeated in Afghanistan, yes. They failed to reconstruct a nation. Defeated in Iraq, yes. They failed to build a model of democracy.
Opinion polls show that President Barack Obama's efforts to engage the Muslim world has had little impact on such attitudes. Indonesia is a rare exception that holds a positive view of the U.S. The fact that President Obama lived there as a boy, that the country has undergone significant democratic progress, and that Indonesia has also suffered terrorist attacks may account for the more favorable rating. Even so, a vocal minority in Indonesia opposes U.S. military policy and U.S. ties to Israel. Last year, Israel's deadly raid on a flotilla of peace activists sparked protests in Jakarta. Indonesian university student Sahid Sundana.
President Obama has to prevent Israel from doing this kind of thing, and not to protect or cover up for Israel.
In Tunisia, some criticize the U.S. for not offering enough support to pro-democracy groups, but this man detects a change in American policy.
The Americans are starting to have an interest in Tunisia, even becoming passionate. I have the impression they will help the Tunisians and are beginning to.
Stephen Cole adds that U.S. plans to draw down forces in Iraq and Afghanistan and U.S. support for Israeli-Palestinian peace could eventually improve Muslims' view of America. But he says the U.S. must also work with the Muslim Brotherhood and other Islamic groups.
They're going to be part of any democratic process that emerges in the Muslim world, and the U.S. needs to take a more friendly stance toward that, not be so suspicious of those countries.
Secretary of State Hillary Clinton has indicated the U.S. is ready to take a step in that direction and engage Egypt's Muslim Brotherhood. But Essam El-Arian says so far there has been no contact. 10 years have passed since the terrorist attacks of September 11, 2001, and Muslim attitudes about America remain a casualty of the war on terror. Brian Padden, VOA News, Jakarta.